What's up, everyone? Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in to the Man Cave Sports Talk podcast, where you get real talk with real sports, no agendas, just passion. I'm your boy, the Sacktown Packhound, with my co-host, Tim, the Packer Hill. And without further ado, let's go! All right, Tim, before we get into this, man, let's talk about the Kings for a minute. First of all, I just think it's quite hilarious that Sabonis has got his 20th triple-double this season, is now in the conversation for MVP, and yet was still not an all-star.
Yeah, that's great. Watching Sabonis play, especially last night against the hated Clippers, or any hated LA team, because I can't stand any of them. He had a rough start, 1 of 8 from the floor. Yeah. He was getting bullied by Zubats or whatever that clown's name is in the middle.
He has trouble with big, strong centers.
He does. Well, besides Jokic, he's fighting against him. But, he should be in the conversation for MVP. Mm-hmm. But because he's in Sacramento in a small market, we all know that small market is not going to get MVP at any point in time ever. So it's all big market and biggest guy on large markets. Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has enough votes to possibly overpass Jokic for this year.
If Jokic went, it'll be his 3rd year in a row.
Yeah,
winning it.
You really going to give it to a white guy? 3 guys?
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to give it to him. There's just too many other people deserving of it. Like I said, Sabonis, obviously, and you're right. The way that Shai's been playing, he's been averaging 30 a game. I mean, he's out of control.
Yeah, he's like 35 a game.
Yeah, and his freaking, team, I mean, dude, they're stacked, man. Oklahoma, they did it so smart with how they made all their moves, got all their first-round picks, built their team in the draft. Mm-hmm. They drafted really well, and now it's starting to come to fruition and, pay off.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The one thing I have regarding that, especially with Oklahoma City and with Denver, if you look at the season records with the Kings, the Kings are winning. Yep. They're 3-0 against Denver.
Yeah, they dominated Denver.
But there is no talk of that. Mm-hmm. It's always, Denver's this, Denver's that. Denver won the championship last year. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a different year.
Yep.
And you're 0-3 against the Kings.
The one thing that irritates me to death about the Kings is that I've never seen a team in my life that plays more to their competition than those guys. Yeah. It's like if we play the top tier teams in the league, we either beat them or we're within a basket of beating them all the time.
Yeah.
Then we play nobodies.
Detroit,
Washington, Memphis, whoever it is, and we get blown out by 20. Yeah. It's just, I don't understand it. It's just we play to our competition, and it's so frustrating.
Well, I hope that... I don't hope that continues, but playing up to the level of the competition. Right. I mean, because they're going to be facing somebody really good in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And they need to stay out of the
we're going to be middle. We're going to be middle of the pack. So if we can make it to the 4th seed, we're playing the 5 seed.
Yeah, well, currently we're 5.
Right now, yeah.
And 4 is the Clippers.
But, dude, did you see the difference in the West and the East between 1st and 8th? It is insane. It's so drastically different from the West and the East.
Oh yeah.
There's the West is packed.
The East is really top heavy with Boston. Mm-hmm. I mean, and then you got Milwaukee that's not too far behind, but they're pretty far back. I mean, Boston's head and shoulders above everybody.
Milwaukee's struggling this year.
But with the West, 1 and 2 are close. 3 and 4 are right there together, and then 5 through 8 are all within literally a game.
Yeah.
So you got to beat the teams you got to beat.
100 freaking %.
And you got to get some tiebreakers against those other teams.
And I mean, right now, the second half is when we really need to put it together, and I think that we will. I was really happy to see Duarte getting playing time and playing well, because I was really surprised. I was really happy with that acquisition in the offseason, because he's a really good perimeter defender, but his shot wasn't there at the beginning of the year.
No.
And the last few games, he wasn't getting no playing time. And now he's starting to get quite a bit of playing time, and he's contributing quite a bit. He's shooting a lot better. His defense is what it always was, and he's a huge help to us.
Yeah,
I mean, if he can replace Harrison Barnes, I'm fine with that.
Dude, there's something about Barnes that just... I want the guy on the floor.
Yeah, I like him. Because
he does the little things here and there, and sooner or later he pops off a good game.
Yep.
But it's so hard for me to not like him.
Yeah. Oh, I like him as a player, but it's just like you said. He's so streaky. He's going to give you 10 8-point games, and then he's going to bust out for a 28-point game.
Yeah.
But, it's like, if we could get somebody that can match that offense, but add a level of defense right now, especially on the perimeter, which is what we need, like, that could definitely elevate us, because the fact that we didn't make any transactions at the trade deadline tells me that Mike Brown plans on doing something different, whether that's playing Duarte, whether that's playing Kessler Edwards. He has something that he plans on doing different, because we didn't do anything, and if we plan to go further than we did last year, we have to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, first we got to stay out of the play-in game, because in the play-in game, you've got the Warriors and the Lakers, and I don't want to deal with either of those teams and the 3 referees that are going to be involved, regardless if we're on the road or at home.
Exactly.
So that's the first thing. Stay out of there. Make sure you have a 7-game series.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a 5-game series, I guess, in the first round.
Yep.
So I have no problem seeing the Clippers, because by the time the playoffs come, someone's going to be hurt over there.
No, I think we match up really well with quite a few teams. I actually think, as far as matchups, I think we match up great with the Warriors. It's just, like you said, that 6th man on the floor kills us every time.
Yeah.
And if it's in Golden State, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, I disagree with you on that fact. I do not think we match up well with the Warriors, because they're a 3-point shooting team. And based on that idiot who was calling the game last night on ESPN, oh my gosh, Bob Myers, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He literally bashed the Kings because they're last in the league in 3-point defense.
Right.
And that's the problem that the Kings have against the Warriors, is they can't cover the 3-point.
But we play them so well. You look at the series last year, we should have won that, took them all the way.
Yeah.
Our games this year were right there. Problem with the Warriors is they're an older team. We are a very fast team. And they can shoot a lot of threes, but we're also going to wear your ass out. And them threes might not be falling in the fourth. And if Mike Brown was smart this year, he would keep Davion on freaking Curry the whole game instead of putting Terrence Davis on him to let him torch his ass for 50 in the deciding game. Because that was the whole thing that won it for him. Up until then, Curry's always going to be a factor, but he wasn't deciding the games until that game.
Yeah, we had issues not only with the Curry 50 points in the
it was the rebounding, too, because Sabonis wanted to look at the damn basket. That's why Looney had 25 rebounds a game, because all he had to do was stand there. He didn't have to freaking defend anybody. Plus, he had a broken hand.
Yes. Yeah, but, I mean, he played with that for most of the year. So I don't count that as an issue, but he didn't play up to what Sabonis is able to play up to.
No, not at all. All right, let's get into our open discussion, and that's something that's kind of it's a sore subject for me, and that's the Oakland A's move. And I know this ain't important to a lot of people on the East Coast. They could care less. But out here, especially for me, I've been a diehard A's fan my entire life. From back in the days with Terry Steinbach and Eckersley and Dave Stewart and the Bash brothers, Walt Weiss,
Seiko, Lansford.
Everybody, man. And it's like, I have so many memories. One of the greatest moments in baseball history, in my opinion. There's a few things where when you see like a picture, there's like iconic pictures in all sports. And one of them to me is on May 1st, 1991, when Rickey Henderson broke the all-time stolen base record and he pulls third base out of the ground and holds it over his head. Yeah. To me, that's like one of the most iconic pictures of baseball history. And I said it when Raiders moved. And granted, all teams have moved, back in the 1900s when it was getting started. Mm-hmm. But there's certain teams in sports that shouldn't move, in my opinion. In football, you got Pittsburgh Steelers, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, Oakland freaking Raiders. There's certain teams that should not move. They're a staple of the culture. And in baseball, it's the same thing. You got the New York Yankees, Los Angeles Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, Oakland freaking A's.
I mean, even Chicago the Dodgers Cubs. From Brooklyn.
Yeah. So. I mean, but it's like to go. Now they're talking about moving to Vegas, and the more I hear, the least I feel that it's going to, happen. But the main issue with it, besides John Fisher being a cheap ass, is that they were supposed to move into the site of the Tropicana on the Vegas Strip.
Correct. Which implodes in April.
But that stadium is going to cost $1.5 billion.
Correct.
The taxpayers of Las Vegas would only be responsible for $380 million. It would still leave John Fisher on the hook for over $1.1 billion. He reported a $40 million loss in revenue last year. He can't get the loans to get it built. I've heard so many rumors about them changing sites now. Number one, to put a freaking baseball stadium on the Strip to me is stupid. It's just...
well, they put a football stadium on the Strip.
Football...
off the Strip.
Yeah.
It's across the I-15.
Right. Yeah. And what that has done, though, is... which it's Vegas, so it makes sense. There's no more Raiders fans at the games. Now it's an entertainment venue, and you have everybody going just to have entertainment. It takes home field away from you. As a Raiders fan, I hate that. That's one of the things that everybody knew, the black hole. You come there, you better not come to the black hole wearing a fucking Niners jersey. You might not leave alive.
Correct.
But now, fucking everybody's in Niners jerseys. You got Dolphins jerseys, Steelers, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
And it's the same thing with the A's, man. It's like, as a business owner, I understand one side of it. You have if anybody's ever been to the Oakland Coliseum, it's a piece of shit. There's no cup holders left on the seats. It smells like piss. It's terrible.
It is.
It's terrible. But there could definitely be something done, a new stadium built. If Oakland loses the A's too, you ever been to Oakland? What else you got?
Well, there's nothing where the Coliseum is at now.
No. It's frustrating as a freaking A's fan, man, and even if they do move, they can't move in until 2028. Their contract in Oakland runs out this year, so they're going to have a 3-year span where I've heard everything from them playing at the Rivercat Stadium to sharing the field with the Giants, which will be a scheduling nightmare, to going completely vacant for 3 years, not having a team at all.
I have heard the not having a team, but I don't think that's.
I don't think so either.
But there are a couple of interesting aspects to this. First off, yes, you said 2024 is the last year for the A's to be in the Coliseum.
Right.
As of sources yesterday, the team in the city have not talked in the last 10 months. So they're not communicating. So
the mayor of Vegas came out and said you should probably stay in freaking Oakland.
Well, correct, but the mayor doesn't control the Strip.
Absolutely.
So the Strip is its own entity. The mayor may be the mayor of Las Vegas, but the Las Vegas Strip is its own home. Yeah. It has its own, I guess, council. Yeah, it's got He's got the mob, and they run everything.
That's it.
But starting in 2025, yes, the A's will be homeless if they don't find it. The River Cats are a possibility. There's also Salt Lake City, who has come in and stated, "Hey, we'll take them."
Yep.
Okay, but once again, it only holds 11,000.
Right.
Sacramento, River Cats, roughly 14,000 if you use the lawn seats or the vacancies out there. But moving will cost the A's more than staying because of the local TV deal. As I jotted down some notes earlier today, the A's contract with Comcast to broadcast their games on NBC Sports Bay Area calls for the team to receive about $70 million next year. But if the A's aren't in Oakland, the regional sports network is no longer bound to pay the rights fee. Okay, so if they leave, there goes $70 million.
Yep.
And with the current payroll,
and with their cheap ass, that's probably their entire payroll.
That's a whole lot more than their payroll. They would be. I think their payroll is like $30.
It's ridiculous, dude. I remember back in the day. I remember Alex Rodriguez was making more on his contract than the entire Oakland A's roster combined.
Yeah.
Like, they've always been cheap as hell. So we can't keep anybody. We had a great farm system, and then we get people, develop them, they become superstars, and when it's time to get a big contract, they go elsewhere. Every time.
I mean, not only they're fighting with the local TV money, which even if they go to Sacramento, they will still lose those rights, even though they're 90 miles west or east. So they have to actually stay around the area to be getting that local TV money.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how that's going to happen if they're not even talking with the city.
Yeah.
So the other thing is with the $1.1 billion that is still owed, I also found that there's a group called Schools Over Stadiums is pushing for a ballot referendum that would put the use of tax dollars to a vote. So
he might be on the hook for the whole 1.5.
Correct.
He can't afford the 1.1.
So
let's throw another 400 on there.
But then you get into the thing of, you were talking about how Oakland, I mean, yeah, you have your Oakland fans, but if you go to Vegas, you'll have all the fans wanting to see baseball.
Right.
Which, in Oakland's eyes, is probably a much better deal to have asses in seats, regardless who you're rooting for.
Yeah.
Because in Oakland, you can't fill a quarter of the stadium on most nights because nobody cares.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So just putting butts in seats will be much better than no butts in seats. I don't care who they're rooting for.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to your concession stands, you're paying your $30 beers.
Yeah, for your watered down freaking beer.
So it's a really, really tough situation for A's and A's fans.
Yep.
And I'll tell you now, if shovels aren't in the dirt at the beginning of 2025,
no, they're not. Yeah,
you will not have a stadium built by 2028.
No,
and then
especially not a $1.5 billion stadium.
Correct. I mean, the Tropicana is going down regardless.
Yeah.
It's scheduled for demolishment in
But
April.
if they don't put a stadium there, how fast do you think it'll be before another casino just freaking goes and pops up? It's not, it's not going to be. Everybody's biting at the freaking bit for that. Yeah. That's just printing money right there.
So it is a to be determined, and it'll probably be ongoing for several months.
Yep. All right, so Tim and I are going to each week start breaking down one division in the NFL and discussing what we feel each team in that division needs to add this offseason to be successful next year.
Up to the draft.
Up to the draft, right? So this week we're going to start with the AFC East and start with the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are coming off their third straight year of getting knocked out in the divisional round of the playoffs. They're in a bad salary cap issue. I think they're about $51 million over right now.
They're in the worst salary cap position.
They got a lot of questions, man. They need help more on the offensive side, I think, because they don't know what the future holds for Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis. I think Gabe Davis is gone.
Gabe Davis is and that's the thing is the unrestricted free agent list that they have right now is quite extensive. Gabe Davis on the offensive side is the best one.
Yeah.
But on the defensive side, you have Micah Hyde, Leonard Floyd, Tyrell Dodson, Daquan Jones, Dane Jackson, Shaq Lawson, Taylor Rapp. All of them played a huge part in their defense this year, and they're all unrestricted.
And they don't have the money to re-sign half of them.
No, they do not.
And there's going to be a lot of people looking for them, too.
So there is...
Now, they did raise the salary cap about, 30 mil, 40 mil, something like that, maybe even 50. They raised it a lot this year. But that's still not going to be enough. That's what happens when you pay these quarterbacks these asinine amounts of money, and you handcuff yourself to, if you have a good team, you're handcuffing yourself to where you're going to have 2 or 3 years, and you better make it work, because if not, it has to implode because you can't pay everybody.
I mean, they're going to do restructuring of a lot of different contracts. They're going to put in bonuses.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of signing bonuses.
Yeah, the cap hits will start to shrink. They'll extend things out.
Yep.
It is literally it's salary cap Jenga.
Yeah.
And they're all smart. They'll figure out ways to get the best possible players, and they're not going to lose everybody.
No.
There's also multi-tiers to the salary cap, which is a lot of information to go through.
Right.
But yeah, they're still in quite a bit of trouble. As for what they need, they need money.
They need money.
So they're going to be dumping contracts. They're going to be dumping the lower end guys to try to keep the higher end guys.
Yeah.
And then replace the lower end guys with draft picks.
Well, that's one good thing. They have 9 draft picks this year.
They have 10.
Well, they could get 10 with the I'm drawing a freaking blank right now. But yeah, they're going to have 10 overall. But if Gabe Davis leaves, I don't think people understand how big of a deal that is. That's what stretches your field. Stephon Diggs took a huge step back this year. I don't know if it's some personal thing that he has with, Josh Allen. They looked completely night and day from how they have looked in the past. Khalil Shakir's okay, but he's not Gabe Davis.
No.
He cannot take the top off of defenses like he can. And if you lose Gabe Davis, which by the post that he's been putting out on Instagram and the farewell speech he damn near get, I don't know, dude. I know they try to send a message like that, but he's almost put it in writing like, I don't want to be here. I'm out.
Well, they midway through the season, they changed their offensive game plan from throwing it 40 to 45 times to, hey, we're going to start running the ball a lot more.
Give it to James Cook.
Correct.
Yep.
So once that occurred, Stephon Diggs didn't get a whole lot of action.
Right.
He wasn't the focal point of the offense anymore.
Yeah.
So with that said, they do draft at 28.
Yeah, way down.
There's a possibility of wide receiver Keon Coleman from Florida State being available if they go a wide receiver in the first round, if they let Gabe Davis walk. So at least they can bring in another guy that can take the top off of defense to replace him.
Right.
Yes, he's a rookie, but
he's
a lot cheaper.
Obviously, a lot of it is going to depend on who they're able to re-sign, because they need a freaking edge rusher really bad too. Really bad.
I have that as well. Von Miller's aging.
Yeah. He's not the same. They need a freaking edge rusher really bad. At that deep in the draft, drafting that late, you're hoping to hit a shot in the dark on an offensive player. Whereas a defensive player, I think you're a lot more likely to give somebody that could come in and contribute right away. Especially in this draft, there's going to be so many people going after quarterbacks and skill players at the top half of the draft. A lot of those bigger name defensive players are going to slide. And so I think you're a lot more likely to get somebody that can contribute for you right now on defense. But that also depends on, how do they really feel about Khalil Shakir? How do they feel about their offensive weapons outside of freaking Diggs? Are they more concerned about their offense or their defense? And all that is going to be dependent on who they're able to re-sign. Because like you said, their list of free agents, dude, is this big.
It is.
And their money they can spend is this big.
They can't spend anyway.
So they got to...
And that's why I think it wouldn't surprise me that they actually trade out of 28 and trade down and get more picks.
I mean...
And get more cash.
They have enough picks, but how far down are they really going to be able to drop, though, with having a 28th pick? A 28th pick is not very sexy.
No, they would drop out of the first round completely and acquire more picks in the second, third, and fourth rounds.
Yep.
So it wouldn't surprise me that happens, especially with teams that are already pretty solidified in a lot of places. Yes, they do have a lot of free agents.
Right.
They're going to lock up a lot of those guys prior to the draft.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll see what takes place. But it wouldn't surprise me that they drop out to get more picks.
All right, let's move on to the Dolphins. The Dolphins, they don't really need anything right now. They have a pretty complete team. Tua, Hill, Waddle, Jalen Ramsey, Javon Holland, Bradley Chubb. They have made 2 consecutive first-round exits in the playoffs, and they are also $50 million over the cap. They're currently looking for a D coordinator, which is going to be a problem after releasing Vic Fangio. Christian Wilkins, they got to re-sign him. And the main thing with them, more than anything else, I think, and it's figuring out what they're going to do with Tua. Because Tua is the last big-name rookie in his rookie class that is still on his rookie deal. All the other ones, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, have all signed extensions around $260 million. He's going to want that same money. Do they feel he's worth that money? He's one concussion away from being a freaking paraplegic.
No, he is more than likely, after this season, going to get the tag. It wouldn't surprise me that he gets the tag.
None of the other quarterbacks, though, have played out their full rookie contract without getting an extension. I don't think he wants to. I think he's going to push to get an extension before this year plays out. I don't think he's going to want to play this whole year without getting an extension. And he's going to say, look, our team is complete. We got a chance to win right now. Look at the stats we put up last year, and I'm still on a rookie deal. Look at what Herbert got paid, and Hurts got paid, and you know what I'm saying, all these other guys. And I think that's going to be a problem for him.
I completely agree with that. I don't think there's going to be a lot of noise about it this year. But in the off season next year, you'll hear more about it. Unless a deal is signed early on July, August of this year, which I don't think there will be.
Well, with them being $50 million over the cap, I don't know how they can. That's what's going to put them in a freaking, tough spot. Because, like I said, they have to re-sign him next year as far as the contract's over. But I think he's going to be quiet. I don't think he's the type that's going to be out in the media talking about it. But I think behind closed doors, he's going to be freaking, pushing for it. Because he knows. Yeah. He knows he is a concussion away. And what's everybody going for now? They want that guaranteed money.
Correct.
They want to make sure that they're set for the rest of their life.
And Miami probably won't give a lot of guaranteed money just because of the fact that he is brittle.
Yep.
But yeah, they saved $13 million on the salary cap by dumping Emmanuel Ogbah just recently.
Did they just drop Xavier Howard also? I think so.
Yes, they did cut him. I don't know exactly what the number is that they saved, but I do know that $13 million was Ogbah's.
Yeah.
Yes, they have to re-sign Christian Wilkins.
Yeah.
And they need to re-sign Connor Williams, their center.
Yeah, Christian Wilkins has to get re-signed. He had 9.5 sacks last year. He was an anchor. They have to re-sign him, and he's going to want that money.
But they also need to shore up their offensive line so Brittle Tua doesn't get killed.
Yes.
So keeping Connor Williams, which is one of the better centers in the league,
yeah,
is probably on their agenda as well. They do have 7 draft picks, which isn't very many. They do pick at 21. Based on what I see of needs for them, offensive tackle, there's a guy from Oregon State. There's J.C. Latham from Alabama if he actually drops that far. I truly believe offensive tackle is going to be their first priority.
They don't need anything on offense, and their defense is good too.
Correct.
That's the one advantage they have over a lot of these teams. They don't have a glaring need where they're like, we have to do this right now.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? They can take a chance on someone in the draft, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you're right. They need to build that offensive line because they're set everywhere else. Jalen Waddle, to me, yes, Tyreek Hill is the most explosive receiver in the league. To me, I'd rather have Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is consistent as hell. Tyreek Hill, I like watching Tyreek Hill. I like having Tyreek Hill in fantasy. I don't trust Tyreek Hill. I would if it's 3rd and 9, I trust Jalen Waddle more. I think he is a very slept on wide receiver because he plays alongside Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I mean he's almost as fast as Tyreek Hill.
Yo, he's a beast, dude.
He's just a little bigger receiver, but he still runs really fast.
Yeah.
So I mean, they definitely have
They got good running backs. They got
with a chain coming on, and him being a speedster as well with Mostert.
Mostert's there. I mean, they got
the only issue on offense that I see him having is at tight end.
Yeah,
they need to probably find a much better tight end.
The only thing with them is they don't really throw to their tight end a lot.
Yeah, but they should because that keeps Tua off the mat.
Well, that's why they need a good blocking tight end. All right, we'll move on to the Jets. Where the hell do you start? Your boy's back there.
Aaron Rodgers.
Your boy's back there.
All you need is Aaron Rodgers.
And that's where I'm going. Their O-line sucks.
Absolutely travesty.
They need a number 2 receiver. They need a number 2 receiver, and I don't think they're going to get it in the draft. There's some big free agents out there. T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Mike Evans. I know they want...
You don't have to worry about T. Higgins anymore. He just got the...
franchise?
The franchise tag.
Okay, well, scratch him off. I know they want Devontae Adams, but I know the Raiders ain't going to let that happen. They're going to want fucking 10 first-round picks or something stupid.
And they don't have them because they're going to Green Bay.
Yep. They have the 8th pick in the draft. I can definitely see them taking Joe Alt from Notre Dame.
They have the 10th pick in the draft.
Do they?
If I'm not mistaken.
We're going to have to check that out. Either the 8th or the 10th. I thought it was the 8th, but I could be mistaken. I could definitely see him taking Joe Alt if he slips that far. He's going to be a big name. Offensive lineman from Notre Dame.
I don't think he goes up. I think he gets picked up like 6 or 7.
It's just you never know what to draft. I say that every year, and then it's like players that are supposed to be picked, they just keep sliding. Someone
just needs to put a tweet out there like that Miami guy did a few years back and just drop his ass all the way down.
If they do go with a wide receiver...
That's not happening. It's an offensive lineman.
You think so?
It is 100% guaranteed an offensive lineman. And it could be like the 2 guys I named, J.C. Latham from Alabama, Talias Fuega from Oregon State, or...
I know their priority is going to be keeping Aaron Rodgers out of the fucking healing tent this year, and going to smoke his Mary Jane, and he's got to be on the field for them to be successful, obviously, and he's got to stay healthy because... what they put in front of him last year to protect him was a travesty.
I mean, they have 8 picks in this draft.
Yeah.
They are going to... What I would love for them to do is to reach out to Green Bay and try to bring in David Bakhtiari. He has been hurt the last few years, but if that guy can get onto the field and he's got a rapport with Aaron Rodgers, he is one of the best offensive tackles in the league.
Yeah.
Hands down, one of the best offensive tackles in the league. If they can go and get him...
How old is he?
He's not old at all. I think he was out in 2016 or 2017.
Okay.
But he's just got the knee issue that hasn't been able to get him on the field. Green Bay's offensive line has worked well without him. He is one guy that they can move to get draft capital back, and it would help both squads.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron would get his tackle. Mekhi Becton can move back to where he normally belongs,
Mm-hmm.
And then shore up the inside with every one of your other draft picks.
Well, you can't use everyone on him because he needs some more help on offense. Yes, Breece Hall's a beast, and Garrett Wilson's a beast. You need some other pieces. You have to get another freaking receiver. He needs a number 2.
He needs help on the receiver. He probably needs a better tight end.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And
he likes his, tight ends.
And he needs
Aaron Rodgers. He's always loved his tight ends.
They need a capable backup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is where maybe you go and find a Kirk Cousins to come in and back him up.
Kirk Cousins will never be a backup quarterback.
I
would go get some. You could get somebody. You could go get Jacoby Brissett.
But you need somebody that is.
Kirk Cousins is asking for fucking $80 million a year.
He's not.
He will not go anywhere to be a backup. I will bet you anything that you want to bet. He will never be a backup at this point.
But there's not a starting job out there for him. That's the problem.
Oh, there freaking can be if he went to a certain. There's several, teams where I think if he went there, he could go to freaking Tennessee right now and start. Promise you that.
Will Levis.
Will
be their starter.
Will Levis, because they don't have a choice. But if Kirk Cousins went there, he would definitely start over fucking Will Levis.
But the Titans are all in rebuild. They're not going to bring in an old quarterback during a rebuild.
I agree, but I'm saying there is teams out there where he could definitely, start. I don't think Kirk Cousins would ever go somewhere to be. He wants too much money, and his resume has been too good over the past few years not to start him. Minnesota's going to bring him back. They're not going to have freaking Jared Hall, whoever. They're not going to have him start. He's shown he can't do it. He's got a rapport with, JJ Jets. He's not going anywhere. But the Jets do need a backup. Zach Wilson, he's gone. But like I said, I think you bring in somebody cheaper. I think you like Jacoby Brissett. He played very well. There's a lot of other people that you could get. Hey, go get your boy Trey Lance.
Trey Lance is a joke. But I'll tell you, Desmond Ridder could be on the line here on the hook soon.
I definitely agree with you on that.
So I
definitely agree with you on that.
Atlanta may be going into another quarterback situation there.
Yep.
As well as New England, which we'll discuss in a minute.
Yep.
I mean, there's plenty of capable backups, but once again, you can't replace Aaron Rodgers.
No.
It's really difficult. Jordan Love did an absolute amazing job the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Because I threw the book at him for the first 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
But something clicked there, and now we have
end of the season with the second most touchdown passes in the league.
Still couldn't get him off your fantasy team because I got blocked by a bunch of jackasses.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of the Patriots have the 3rd overall pick. They have $70 million in cap space.
I saw it at $86 million.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
They got a lot of money. This is the first time in 24 years they will be without Belichick, obviously. New head coach Jared Mayo is going to want to make a splash. I don't think there's a doubt in anybody's mind where they're going with the 3rd pick, and that's going to be quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to start his regime with Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi. Nope. I 100% think they're going to get Drake May. I think they should get Jaden Daniels, but I think they will get Drake May because Robert Kraft.
Well, it all depends on what Washington does ahead of them.
Whoever...
Washington more than likely will take...
They're not going to... If it goes how it should go, obviously the Bears are going to get Caleb Williams, which I don't think they should do that. I think they should get Marvin Harrison Jr., but... If they get Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going number 2. I think. I don't think they're going to move off of Sam Howell.
Oh, I think the first 3 picks in this draft are quarterbacks.
I don't think so.
It's going to be Caleb Williams, and then for whatever reason, the LSU guy, Jaden Daniels, because that is your bust quarterback. I will put it out there right now.
You said the same thing about Anthony Richardson. He was balling.
You wait.
He had better stats than C.J. Stroud before he got hurt.
You wait.
Now I'm waiting.
You wait.
I know he was whooping ass in fantasy. I know that.
He is. I'm telling you, Jamarcus Russell Jr.
That's not even fair, bro.
He'll be done.
That's not even fair to say.
He'll be done.
Jamarcus Russell was ass from the beginning. The biggest bust in NFL history. He was worse than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean, Ryan Leaf?
Ryan Leaf, I mean. Ryan Leaf, yeah.
But yes, no, I'm telling you, I watched that guy at Florida, and he was a trash can. He's got a whole lot of potential, and the brain the size of a pea. So I am not worried about Anthony Richardson. I dump all his cards now while you can, because there will be nothing.
Stack up on him
later. But Jaden Daniels is just a little speedier one. I don't trust anything that he does. I mean, I cover the SEC. I watch all those games.
I like Jaden Daniels. You are more than welcome to come to the Raiders.
The Raiders could draft a quarterback where they.
I think we might
draft. So
I think we might.
I mean, because I don't think Aiden O'Connell is it.
I don't think so either.
But yeah,
they need the Patriots need a lot of help. They need a quarterback, which they will get. I think their number one priority, though, is they have to re-sign Mike Onwenu. They have to sign him. He's too important to their freaking line. But they also need a big-time receiver. Like, they got nobody. And I know they're definitely going to reach somewhere in the draft to find the next. Puka Nacua did it for, people last year.
Yeah.
Now everyone's going to be searching for that diamond in the rough because Puka blew up.
Yeah, but the problem is you see those guys in the second and third round.
Yeah.
You don't reach for receivers in the first round anymore.
You know what's funny? Last year, and I wish I would have listened to this, man. Last year we were doing the Burbank Card Show. It's bigger than the National as far as tables go.
Okay.
It's basically the National of the West Coast. And there was a guy walking around. It was Puka Nacua's uncle. And this was before anybody knew who he was. This was before the season started.
Okay.
And he was walking around and he was seeing if anybody had Puka Nacua cards. And no one had him because no one knew who he was.
At the time, only, Prism Draft would have been out?
Yeah. He told us right then. He said, "This is my nephew. If you have a chance to get his cards, get his cards." He said he is going to be big time. And I know a few people whose kids or nephews have played in the league, and they all say that. My kids are going to blow up. My kids are this. My kids are that. And you're like, yeah, okay. And damn if I didn't listen. Because I wish I would have.
Well, nobody would have. I mean, nobody knew him until he started balling.
Yep.
So, I mean, everybody has that same with their nephews, cousins, what have you. I mean, he's going to be great. Blah, blah, blah. Well, let me see it.
Yeah, exactly.
By the time you see it, it's too late.
Too late. So, yeah, the Patriots, luckily for them, they have so much money, but they need a lot. And Robert Kraft he's not used to being in this situation. He is used to having the best team and the dynasty and all this. So this is all new territory for him. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do because they need, like I say, a quarterback. They need to make sure their offensive line is healthy and very good to keep whatever new quarterback they get off of his ass. Mm-hmm. They could use another, tight end.
Well,
wide receiver.
Well, their tight ends are really good.
Hunter Henry?
The problem is they're both unrestricted free agents.
Yeah.
So you've got Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki.
Mm-hmm. Gesicki's good, but he's getting up there.
They just never used him.
Yeah.
I mean, they used Hunter Henry.
He had one touchdown
the
last game of the season.
Yeah. Hunter Henry, they used the back half of the season. Those two tight ends are pretty decent. Blocking-wise, maybe not so much, but receiving tight ends are great. Mm-hmm. They also need to re-sign Trenton Brown on the offensive tackle.
They need running back. Ramondre Stevenson is not it.
No, they need their whole offensive skill set guys are all needing replacements.
Well, I mean, Jared Mayo is going to freaking bring in everybody new anyway. He has his own vision of what he wants his team to look like, and I think he wants it to be drastically different than Bill Belichick. I think there's a reason that there was 6 vacancies and Bill Belichick did not get the job. I don't think anybody wants to play for Bill Belichick. Julian Edelman came out and said, we worked for Bill Belichick. We played for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone that I've ever heard interviewed, they all say, New England was not a fun place to play. We just won.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like having the freaking old man in the room with all the freaking young kids. You know what I mean? It's like, I think Jared Mayo is the right pick for that team. I think he's going to bring a certain swag back, you know what I'm saying, back to them. I hope it takes a while, though, because I am so freaking sick of seeing them. I hope that they're bad for a while.
They're probably going to be bad for a few years.
Yeah.
But it all depends on what his vision is.
Yeah.
What is Mayo's vision?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a defensive guy.
Right.
Okay, so he knows at least that side of the ball.
Well, I mean, their defense has pretty much been solid for the past few years.
And they need to re-sign Kyle Duggar and Josh Uche.
Mm-hmm.
To keep that strong. But yeah, they have to do a lot in free agency to shore up that offense. Obviously, T. Higgins has been tagged by Cincinnati, so that's no longer an option. But still, Calvin Ridley and Michael Pittman are out there.
Mm-hmm. Mike Evans.
That they can pull in. Mike Evans.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with their situation of being possibly a younger squad, especially when they do draft Drake May at number 3, they're going to start needing to be looking at similar to what the Packers have done. Young quarterback, young receivers, let them grow together.
Mm-hmm.
There may be a blueprint there.
Yeah.
That can be followed. Because for whatever reason, Green Bay has been able to establish this multiple times. So, I think going young and not bringing in older veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Evans was drafted in 2014, so he's got 10 or 11 years under him now.
That dude gets 1,000 yards every freaking year, though. It don't matter who his quarterback is.
But how many more of those does he have?
That's what I say that too, but then it's like we say it every year. You know what I'm saying?
So my thought is, after they draft Drake May, maybe they trade back into the first round, use some of that collateral they have, and maybe draft, if Keon Coleman from Florida State is available or Xavier Worthy from Texas, 2 really good standout wide receivers.
See, I think that they need to do, like you said, draft whatever quarterback that you want. But then you got to use that money to get a big name receiver. If you want to take a chance on someone later in the draft, if you want to get a receiver in the 2nd round, 3rd round, take a chance, whatever, pay somebody. Pay a veteran wide receiver to come in with that young quarterback. It's very rare does it work out where you bring in a rookie quarterback and have him team up with a rookie wide receiver and have that, you know what I'm saying, freaking pair work. They need a...
Green Bay.
Huh?
Worked in Green Bay.
For who?
For Jordan Love.
With who?
Jaden Reed.
Dontavian Wicks. What did they do?
They kicked the shit out of the Cowboys, what they did.
That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit. They need to have a veteran presence in there. It's good to be young, but you need a veteran leader. That's why I think Mike Evans would be so good there. And he's got a Super Bowl now.
That's why you find the play caller to assist that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think that you need that, you know what I'm saying? It'll be interesting because they need a lot. So
No, there's no doubt there. They are a 3 or 4 win team out of the gate.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
all right, so for the first time this year, I'm happy to say that Mr. Packer over there did not hit his lock, and your boy did.
Okay, Hold on. My lock was Cleveland, who 3 days...
Against who, the Magic?
Yes. 3 days after we made our locks, the best player on Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell,
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell was sick.
Yeah.
So he doesn't play, and that kind of kills my lock. And I completely own that one. I can't foresee people taking days off.
Hey, I will say, I hit right on the head. I told y'all the Kings were going to win, but they were not going to cover the spread. I said they were going to win by 6 or 7. That's exactly what happened. I knew it because we always have a problem. Why the hell do the Spurs use Wembanyama how they do? I understand he's frail. But all that dude does is stand outside.
I don't know.
I'm like, put that dude in the post. I've never seen anybody like him. He looks freakishly weird because he's so long, and he's trying to do sidestep threes. I'm like, bro, you don't have to do that. No one can reach you.
No, I don't know why they can't use him like Sacramento uses Sabonis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
on the elbow or something.
The dunks that he would have on the screen and roll at the elbow would be amazing.
Yep.
I mean, who's going to block his shot?
Did you see the one alley-oop that he did have in that game? It looked ridiculous. He doesn't even jump. He's like, he looks so, he's so big, dude. He's so big.
It's just the wingspan and the...
It's insane. And it looks freaking odd.
Yeah, toothpick with ski feet.
Yeah, he needs to... I was having this conversation with my son the other day because he's a huge sports fan. He's in such a weird spot because... I feel kind of bad for him because people that are that size, they don't have long-term health.
No.
So you have to get it quick. But in order to be dominant, he has to put on some weight. He has to add 30 pounds.
Somewhere.
You add 30 freaking pounds, then you turn into like Greg Oden, and your knees can't freaking take it because your body's so big. And it's just... It sucks to be, it's like, great, he's going to make a lot of money, but the long-term health is just never good for those guys.
I mean, how many years does he really have?
That's what I'm saying. He's probably going to have,
find out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be longer than a 10-year career, if that.
I mean, Chet Holmgren has the same problem.
Exactly the same.
He's just as, I mean, he's not as tall, big, or weak,
right.
But he is still the same type of size.
Exactly, and that's what I said last year when there was all the hype for, you know what I'm saying, Chet. I said then, there's certain body styles and body frames where you just can't put on weight. Sean Bradley, Manu Bull, Bol. It's just people don't put on weight, and that's just it. You can have all the nutritionists and chefs and all that you want, eat as much as you want, and they'll gain a little weight. But even in that game against Sacramento, he was running into Sabonis, and Sabonis wasn't moving.
No.
It looked like a child hitting him. And I was like, dude, like, oh my God.
Sabonis handled him with ease.
Yeah. Yeah. So. It's just that wingspan.
Yeah.
All right, who you got for your lock this week?
All right, I got a multi-lock.
Oh, damn.
So, I am going with the Kings tonight over the Heat.
Without Butler.
Yeah, Butler.
That's a big one.
Butler's on the shelf for the fight on either Friday or Saturday that they tangled with. There's like 5 people suspended.
Yeah.
Butler.
Yeah, those came down today.
So I like the Kings tonight over the Heat, and then for the Kings to lose to Denver on Wednesday, but cover the spread, whichever it is. It'll probably be around 6 or 7 in Denver's favor.
Okay.
Just for the fact that Joker has been kind of on a heater.
Yeah.
His last 3 games.
And you know how they play in the second half of the season.
The fact that the Kings are 3-0 against Denver, with their last game being in Denver, I like it to be close. Denver's going to be on a 2 or 3 day absence from games, so they're going to be a little rested.
Yeah.
Back at home. Joker's been averaging 27, 16, and 15 over his past 3. It's going to be hard for the Kings to get over the hump on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially playing 3 games in 4 nights.
Yeah, and they don't do well on back-to-backs.
No, they won't be on a back-to-back. It'll be on Wednesday.
But it'll be off a...
It's 3 and 4 games.
Right.
Or three games in 4 days.
Right.
So they're going to be probably a little winded. They're probably going to have a deeper rotation. Hopefully it doesn't get out of control and they can keep it within the spread. But Kings cover tonight. Kings win tonight. Kings will cover in Denver, but lose.
Okay, I like that. All right, so I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to go the college route, and I'm going to go with Kansas versus Baylor. Kansas is ranked 9th. Baylor is ranked 11th. They just played a little while ago. Kansas beat them by 3. I believe it was 64-61. They play again on Saturday. It's probably the biggest college basketball matchup this weekend.
Where are they playing?
Yeah, I believe it's at Baylor, I do believe. Okay. Kansas is still favored by 6.5. I'm going with the upset here, I guess. I'm going to take Baylor, and I'm going to tell you why. When they played last, Baylor absolutely dominated them on the boards. Baylor out-rebounded them 42-25. What absolutely killed Baylor is their turnovers. They had 21 turnovers while Kansas only had 8.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now.
And they only came out with a 3-point victory. I think they're going to clean it up, and I take 11 Baylor to beat number 9 Kansas, and I think they're going to cover the spread, which is 6.5. So mark that. Baylor in the upset Saturday, March 2nd.
So you're saying take them on the money line?
Take them on the money line, baby. All right, so I'm going to talk about the hobby real quick. There's nothing real big coming out right now. Prism basketball just came out. I know me and you have talked about it a lot. I bought 2 hobby boxes. I basically took $1,800 and threw it away. Trash, trash, trash. If you don't get some type of cracked ice or low numbered Wimby, that's all you're going for.
Yeah.
If you don't get that, you're guaranteed to lose money.
And the guaranteed autos aren't guaranteed.
Yeah.
I have seen multiple YouTube personalities breaking boxes that have not only just gotten 1 auto out of the 2, but have literally gotten 0 autos out of multiple boxes.
That's ridiculous.
So I don't know why or how Panini's quality control is getting worse and worse.
Mm-hmm. That's outrageous. So we do have Court Kings coming out in a couple days. We got Spectra first off the line coming out in a couple days, which is starting out at $1,500, which is freaking outrageous.
Yeah, the floor was $750.
Yeah. So we'll see where we're going. I do want to announce that I have 3 local shows coming up. So if you guys are in the Sacramento area, come check these out. The first one is a really small one, but it's a really good show. It is the Auburn Card Show. It is on... Actually, I just had it up. I can tell you exactly where. It was on... It is at 209 Fairgate Road at Gold County Fairgrounds. This Saturday, March 2nd, that'll be from 10 to 5. There's only about 75 tables there. It's a real small, intimate show, but it's really good. There's a lot of good vendors there. It's a really good local show. So if you're going to be in the area, come check it out. The biggest show coming up is the Sacramento Card Show. That one is going to be April 26th, 27th, and 28th at the Convention Center. It's over 36,000 square feet. It's going to have close to 300 vendors there. There's going to be some big names in the building for that one. So if you guys are out there, come check us out. We'll be set up at those. And the last one is the Sacramento Autograph Expo. I want to make sure I get these dates right for you guys. That one is in May. And that one is going to be May 17th, 18th, and 19th at the grounds in Roseville. There's going to be some big names there signing autographs. There's going to be Dennis Rodman, Ricky Henderson, Johnny Manziel, Malik Monk. I feel like I'm leaving somebody off.
Is that going to be in that big pavilion at the grounds?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a huge pavilion.
Really good show. We will have 3 tables at both the Sacramento Card Show and the Sacramento Autograph Expo. A lot of stuff out there. There's going to be a lot of vendors out there also, so some really big shows. If you guys are in the area, please come check us out. Even if you don't buy anything, I just love meeting you guys, come out, say hi. Tim will probably be at the Autograph Expo with me, so come out. We could throw tomatoes at him. There's going to be some big cards there. Like I said, there's going to be some big names in the hobby out there. I know She Breaks is going to be there. Mojo will be there at the Sacramento Expo. Keen will probably be there. True Sports, NorCal Sports Cards, Teammates, Card Addict. There's a lot of big names in the industry are going to be there. So if you're going to be there, come check us out, you guys.
And Tim Hill will be there.
Tim Hill will be there. So definitely come, check us out. Once again, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Do not forget, you guys, if you have something that you want discussed on any episode, let us know. A topic. If there's anything in the hobby, too, anything in the sports card hobby that you would like discussed, a product, if you'd like to see a product on air, I will definitely get something on here for you. Tim and I were talking about maybe doing a rip on air. Just nothing really been catching my eye lately that has came out that I wanted to show you guys. But yeah, any questions in the sports world, any questions in the hobby, let us know. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. Cheers, and whoo! Until next week, get out of my house.
See ya.